let's go. Okay. So now, in terms of the structure on how it's set up, right? You look here, you got Australia, Toronto, parts of different parts of Italy. And again, each one is an Ndrini. Ndrini is like a family that is local and or Estero, which is foreign, right? So pretty much Ndrangheta, get to Nicole in a second. Ndrangheta operates in Australia, South America, North America, widely in Canada, obviously Europe, and it's believed to be operating in 6 of the 7 continents. Obviously, there's not much drug trade in Antarctica. And how do they make their money? And again, check the link above with my interview with Anna Sergi. They actually made their money initially by kidnapping. And there actually was a point where it was so bad, the kidnapping, that there would be in the newspapers kidnapping season where people would post the ransoms or they would post, hey, missing. And most of the time it was the Ndrangheta, ergo John Paul Getty's grandson. And interesting enough is I think they negotiated it down to like 1.7 million or wherever it was, right? What he did was, the reason why it was at a certain amount, there's only a certain amount that he could write off on his taxes, and then actually did a 4% loan to his son to free his grandson for the remainder. These guys were shrewd with their money. That's, I guess, why Getty was a billionaire. But nevertheless, that's one of the high-profile kidnapping. Just to kind of point some of the rumblings and how I started to see that Ndrangheta was expanding into the U.S. First, Nicola Gratteri. He's the one who is proceeding over the Maxi trial over in that's currently going on with the Mancuso clan. He is literally, it's a 300-person trial. There is thousands of witnesses, lawyers, so forth. It's pretty crazy. Mayors are indicted, senators are indicted, local senators on the Italian Italian equivalents, and it's crazy what's happening there. So really unpacking what the true power of the Ndrangheta is. Now, the interesting enough is this is just one clan. There are many clans, and as Anna Sergi describes it, it goes by name, surname. So your certain name, let's say the Romeo clan, or there's literally hundreds of them. And then it goes the Pele clan and many others. Then it also goes by where you are. These clans do operate independently. However, the Ndrangheta makes up the consortium. They do work together on the drug trade, the finance drug shipments, and the $100 millions. Well, where do the drugs come in from? Okay. One, Rotterdam, which the Italians do have a big presence there. Antwerpen, which is on the Adriatic side. Hamburg, which Ndrangheta has set up shop. There was a big killing there, about 6 members in Ndrangheta during a massacre about 15 years ago. And if you see on the bottom, Gettotaudo is in Calabria, and that was actually built by the mafia. And as you see, although it's one of the smallest, it's one of the fastest growing. So imagine, for example, the Gambino family building a port in New York, controlling a port in New York, and then importing drugs in that port. That's the equivalent of Gettotaudo. So, initially, to give you some background how Ndrangheta got into drugs, after they started making so much money in kidnapping, they got into construction and local rackets like anybody else. But they saw the value of cocaine in Europe, and they also kind of jumped in where the Cosa Nostra fell off. The Cosa Nostra was dealing a lot in heroin. After the Pizza Connection case, and after the Corleonesi, don't get me wrong, they're still involved. They do a lot with the Gambinos, the Cosa Nostra here in the U.S., as well as the Bananos, but not nearly to the extent. So basically,